I'm gonna search it. You're under arrest. So.
Search it.
No, dude, I'm just letting you know.
I'm telling you, go ahead.
And that's what I was letting you know is that I don't need your permission. I was asking
So
you.
why are you telling me if you don't need my
Because
permission?
I thought I was being courteous.
Watch how a quick check on the street suddenly turns serious. The officers step in, and what happens next says it all.
Get an ID.
What's up?
Okay?
Did you live? Right here.
I didn't tell you.
That's Water Street?
Investigating a situation.
So turn around, you're under arrest.
For what?
For domestic disorderly conduct and battery. For transmitting back. Permit 15, you live in. That's the last stuff in it.
1 second.
Okay, I'm like to eat.
Not the additional. But. On your top feet there.
18 to 12, you come to the back parking lot. 4 to 18 times.
Limit.
Damn.
Yeah, 418.
Wallet in your pocket.
Talking about my wallet. Yeah, do you want to handle that? Got my shit right there.
Yeah, so. Not giving you a line of nothing. I don't know all the details of what's going on. Some type of disturbance of some sort that occurred. We're looking for the vehicle, so I just saw the vehicle pull in.
I just got it off the way, so.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll get there.
And in your pocket.
But it's, take my truck over his vehicle.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's figure out what we do with the truck. We'll lock her up. Anything in
What you
I'm gonna search it. You're under arrest. So.
Search it.
No, dude, I'm just letting you know.
I'm telling you, go ahead.
But yeah, I understand. I can appreciate you're upset. You don't know what's going on.
Let's get this
Yeah,
show.
and that's what I was letting you know is that I don't need your permission. I was asking
So
you.
why are you telling me if you don't need my
Because
permission?
I thought I was being courteous. I was being
All right, let's
courteous.
go this way.
But I don't have to be courteous.
Let's go this way. Let's go this way. Let's go over there. Let's go this way.
Dare you take my kindness for weakness, right?
Just hold on for this cover pass. Okay, right on this way.
Right. Container.
What's going on?
Container. Another
he wants his-
con
he
word,
wants his
yes,
phone.
Container.
Well, I have it. He's not gonna get it.
Okay.
It's gonna be evidence.
Yep.
So we'll follow up there. At least right away.
What's the booking? What's the booking?
DC is what he told me.
That's it?
One, yeah, but I would call him. I just asked PC for charges, or he's arriving, and he said, yeah, at least domestic.
How far is Pete?
He was working on it.
Can you hear me okay? He asked me to tell you that she's gonna call Bubba for you. That makes sense to you? Okay.
At first, officers confirmed the individuals were violating a no-contact order. But later, after taking him to the station, a new lead took them to their apartment. And what they found there told a completely different story.
You're on.
Yep. Police department. First police department. Police department. Police department.
Please.
Police department. So before I go any further,
I haven't searched these bags. This is much that opened it. How about just see what this was? Those are all Xanax bars. At least appear to be. So there's that bag. So you want to just remove some of this shit out of the living room? Yeah, we can then I'll go through it. We'll take it to the PD and I'll go count it. Those are cards.
what are you gonna do? Settle there?
Yeah, because we gotta take it all as evidence.
What do you think? That's what you're gonna lay it out. Before we're here or what?
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Yes. Yes, thank you.
Electronics. Well, I got this.
I love that Google
iPad.
thing they did, how
It was in his
it's
backpack
kind
with
of,
this.
what do you call that when it has the motion?
He didn't search backpack.
Interactive? No, that's not it.
Yeah, look at that. Yes, take this.
What do you think that is?
That's gotta be Coke.
Yeah.
That might be.
It's a man in motion.
That was heroin back over here. You think Rich got the paper like that? Can you see the brown over here? That powder?
Take those two things to you. Hey, Ethan?
Discipline is the soul of an army.
George Washington. Wow.
2026. Is this live feed working?
There might be a tiny delay.
Yeah, I mean, it's over 250 years ago in the past.
Okay, so you think Graham Plattner is normal? You don't know anything about me. How am I not normal? I know a lot about Graham Plattner. I know a lot
She's
about
voting for him. That's why she's voting for him.
Well, you're not in the street. I'm in the street. I'm a big boy. I can take care of it. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, thank you.
So we don't respond.
Okay, so you do condone his bad behavior, though. Okay, that is a response. So thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Just leave my wife alone.
She's engaging with me, sir.
I'm walking away from you.
Okay, and so was I.
Not engaged.
I was walking down there. So you do support Graham Plattner's deviant behavior?
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, well good. There is some normalcy there then.
Well, there is now.
I'm not supporting a candidate who masturbates in a porta potty.
Stop that.
What? I agree. We should stop that, but he does that.
It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with your mouth.
What's wrong with my mouth? Those are your candidate's words, not mine. Not mine. So, they don't want to identify reality out here, but they want to stand on the corner. Yeah, we'll settle it with the vote. So you're going to vote for Graham Plattner? Okay, very good. So that is a yes. Okay. Yeah, it's Maine. Read them all. Okay, one party say. Thank you. All right, guys, there you go. Bunch of courageous people standing on the corner, and then when they're challenged, they don't want to talk. So.
They were more aggressive than usual. That's the best live protest I think I've seen you go to.
Can I get a cocktail? I think Betty came in hard in this one. My goodness. So
Betty's getting sick and tired of the hypocrisy.
I will tell you one thing, John, that I was told that you simply go to poor, crime-ridden towns and harangue Somalis. I'm not sure how many of those people were from Somalia. I'm thinking not too many.
I'm thinking not too many, yeah. But, isn't it amazing, though, they want a virtue signal and everything, and how dare I use Graham Plattner's words in public because it's offensive, but Graham Plattner's the one who said it, not me, so, it's just bizarre.
That is right, and that was the best thing you've yielded from that, is that they had to show that they were offended and uneasy with the actions and the stuff that he says. And that's just some of them too. Everybody back there, by the way, is for having gender ideology books in kids' classrooms as well. But they don't want to hear that language either. They're very uncomfortable hearing that language. So
we got a. I don't know if he's normal, but he's one of our good guys. Tell everybody who you are. You're live on Mainwire TV right now.
Matt Rivers with the Maine Young Republican State Chairman. I'm from Kennebunk. So these guys are out here every Thursday doing this, and I'll tell you what's interesting is they were saying the same exact stuff was horrible. The same things that Graham Plattner is saying now. They are saying that is what makes Donald Trump unelectable. That is what makes him these crazy words that they call it. But now that this man is saying it and he has a D next to his name, we're just going to talk about the fact that we have to look past that and focus on the greater good. These people go to Hannaford and they stay in the grocery line and they say, you have to vote for him for the greater good. That is insane. It is absolutely crazy. It's hypocrisy, and that is what you're dealing with in Southern Maine.
Well, let me ask you a question here. It was Matt, you said? So, Matt, when John engaged some of those folks here, John said, the guy who likes to pleasure himself in a porta potty, and they said, well, your guy's worse. But the alternative to Graham Plattner is Susan Collins. So how come they automatically insert Trump into this?
Because that's all they have. I've approached these people before about Senator Collins. I'm like, you don't agree that Senator Collins has delivered for Maine time and time again? They don't care. They don't care. There's only one thing they care about when it comes to Senator Collins, and that is they allowed the president to do that she has allowed the president to do his job, and they don't like that. And to them, that's what makes her unelectable.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you something. It was very interesting seeing the reaction there.
I think the police were just called. Okay, so that ought to be fun.
Okay, I'll go talk to him.
No,
It's fine. Look, I'd rather have it all on camera anyway, to be honest.
It's fine.
So, I'm not sure. Joe, is this, are you surprised at the reaction from the folks there, that they were offended by hearing those words? They've been hearing about Plattner, but they're not offended by Plattner.
Yeah, that's their MO. I mean, I'm surprised they were so aggressive, actually, because usually they just shut down when I'm around them. So. Yeah, that was more aggressive than I would have expected, especially from the old Kennebunkport crowd. I guess they're used to just getting what they want. This is like a rich town. The average net worth of that crowd is probably well over $1 million. I did love that the interaction opened with the woman being shocked and outraged that John used the word masturbate.
You leave my wife alone.
And that's the thing, is that if you opt into Graham Plattner, this is the window dressing around him. And it just is. The stuff about him being angry at rape victims, saying, don't get so drunk. The guy typed it, it's forever, And some of the stuff he actually just said out loud. So, like, going after...
Morons are governing America? I did. I read. That's what I'm asking you. Yeah, so Janet Mills, Graham Plattner, are they morons too? Oh, they're not governing America. No, who is governing America? Apparently, a clown. Posse. Oh, he's clowning a posse. Okay. So you're standing out in one of the richest neighborhoods in America. He's going to change what? I'm not from here. Oh, you're not from here. Oh, once again, proof that Plattner's bringing in operatives from out of state. Okay, yeah. Signs. I am reading the signs. The evidence. Okay.
Hey, John, can you ask him? Can you ask him if we'd like to?
Green energy.
Ask him what, Tom?
Ask him who he would support for president of all the candidates, like.
So all the candidates for president, who would you support?
Let's bring down prices.
I agree. We should bring down prices. Who would you support for president? Oh, they're being told not to engage. They want free things. Sure. Hey, how are you? Okay. Hey, why, are you upset?
I could be.
Okay. Alright. Well, why would you be upset?
Because we are here with a peaceful protest.
Okay. And how are we not being grouped?
Is this an authority figure?
No, you don't like another opinion. That's what you don't like.
I'm saying you certainly can, but don't engage with us.
When people talk to me, that's not engaging, okay?
So stand over here, people won't talk to you.
I can stand right here, sir. It's a public sidewalk. It's a public sidewalk. I can stand right here. Your vest does not give you any authority, okay? So,
that's right.
I mean, it's a very nice vest, but it doesn't give you any authority. Where's your badge?
Exactly.
Don't tell me what I can do on a public street, okay?
Yeah, please don't engage with us. Don't engage with us. What is that? Don't engage with... let me tell you one thing, Seamus. In my own town, we had one of the best swearing guys, and when there was a No Kings rally a month ago, and he stepped in front of the street to stop traffic, and if I was the first car when that guy did that, man, I would be incarcerated currently.
This guy...
Hi, how are you?
This guy thinks he has
how are you?
the best.
We're live on Maywire TV.
Authority.
No threats have been made by letting know. Just asking questions. Somebody called us. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Okay, well, we're live on TV. We can provide, provide the tape, so we can definitely provide the tape. Did I ask some questions? Yeah. Did they not like the questions? But there were no threats. No. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Officer, thank you. Thank you. It's Kennebunk PD right there. It's funny, a lot of those protesters consider...
No threats will be made. No hand gestures will be made. We'll just stay here and try to complete our broadcast. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming out. Thank you.
But you know what? To those protesters, including the guy with the reflective vest over there, you call law enforcement Nazis again and again and again. They tend to remember it. So if you think
it is so funny for them to try to pull anything when the entire thing is being live streamed.
So the complaint is being made to me now that I was using profanity because I said masturbating on a porta potty. Those aren't my words. Those are Graham Plattner's words, right?
Yes.
Is that a complaint?
No, those are Graham Plattner's words, sir. They're not mine. Those are direct quotes. They're direct quotes.
Hey, if you can get...
People don't like the truth. They kidding on it.
Matt, see if you can find Plattner's quote about the porta potty and the blue stuff. If you can find it somewhere, it should be
Also,
somewhere.
is saying the word masturbating a crime now? I don't know.
Yeah, masturbate is definitely not a bad word.
Yeah, it's not like a swear.
It is not a swear. It is not a swear.
It's actually the proper way to say it. It's not even
how else would you
Would it have been better if I said jerking off or something? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm asking for clarity here. So,
I mean, these
Graham Plattner's words, not mine.
These people want books about that in kids' classrooms, all over town.
That's true. Absolutely.
I mean, I prefer the word jerk off. I think that's a little bit better on the ear. Masturbate.
It sounds better. Yeah, it sounds less gross. I think masturbating is more the technical word for it.
Well, I think that the one you just used, Joe, is gender. So that narrows it down, and it would apply to Plattner. Would apply to Plattner.
Where do they get these colored vests? The vest. It's always with the vest.
Yeah. And they think that it endows them with, like, divine authority. That yellow endows them with the authority to decide who can go where on public property, who can say what. It probably allows them to use physical force to remove people from public property.
Well, yeah, I mean that, the whistle, right? I mean, there's a few things they have with them.
Too, yeah.
Yeah, but they give themselves these battlefield commissions, and I guess it's good in a way because when your parents retire, you don't want them doing nothing. So for them to feel like they're part of a paramilitary organization, making a difference.
That's a good one.
We got more on this side?
Epstein class clown. Epstein class is the big Plattner phrase.
Yeah, when they put these vests on, I want to know what they're like looking in the mirror before they leave. Like,
oh yeah, they definitely are. You know the selfie that the guy who tried to shoot Trump at the Correspondents' Dinner. Did you see that selfie where he was like making the kind of smirky face, taking a mirror selfie with his pre-assassination attempt get up? I think that's how these guys feel. Do you not know which picture I'm talking about?
Was it in the bathroom?
Yeah, or no, I think it's hotel room right before he went down and set up the Correspondents' Dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and he's strapped.
That's how they feel. That's how they feel when they're putting on the vest.
I see it now.
Wow, who knew? I gotta say, I just arrived here minutes before the show. I did not. This was not in my plan, but this has been a very welcome
episode.
Right.
Hold on, I got some more coming. Hold on.
How many people are out there? Like 25?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18. I'd say about 30 to 40 people.
You think Melissa Dunn is in her car now on her way here after she saw you on stream?
I mean, who are they protesting to?
I don't know. It's funny that, there's Jonathan Bush signs all over the place because of Kitty Bug. But, I'll get killed. Don't worry.
I'm sure they will render first aid, John.
Oh, yeah. Tom, you got to get me a main wire fancy vest so I can be like this guy and have some authority if I have a vest,
Oh, true.
But, yeah, I mean, look, you've probably got about 40, 50 people out here now.
Where's the lawman right now? I mean, the guy in yellow, that guy, the engagement officer.
You think he's a community organizer? I bet he's a community organizer.
I think he is.
I thought that John was about to get an octogenarian right cross from one of these guys.
Good, thank you. We're drawing quite a crowd here. It's growing by the minute here.
I think that might be the Fethy effect kicking in.
You know, it's No Kings Rally 2.0. You know, here we are. You know, bunch of people. You know, nothing better to do. You know, it is a beautiful day. I mean, Kennebunk is a beautiful place. A beautiful, beautiful place. So,
how hot is it out there, John?
It's warm. It's warm and humid. Yeah. It's warm and humid. But hey, freedom of speech. But you know, it always seems like, you know, their side only their speech matters, not ours. You know, we can't have an opinion, I guess.
And you know that if this was a right-wing protest, they would be doing everything at the next town council meeting to shut that down.
I'm trying to look here, see if it's already made it to the Kennebunk Facebook page.
Let me start over a little bit. I know that you guys didn't go down on Sunday.
Can you imagine, like, the level of harm that they're going to suggest happen?
Don't start the conversation off lying to me, because once you lie,
I think that it constitutes rape. Actually, I think that what John was doing, asking questions, probably constitutes rape.
Not in a gay way.
No, not in the gay way.
Why? Was I in Grant Lander's apartment? Or was I trying to steal his iPad or something? I mean, what's going on there? What's going on?
So, well, all right, John. So, I don't think they want you to engage. The problem is that they're not like they're not like Republican conservatives. If conservatives were out there, they'd be looking to talk to people. So nobody wants to talk to you. They consider it some kind of assault. They find it incredible that anybody would have a diverse opinion from what they think. And, like, they don't understand how you would do that, unless, of course, you're in the employ of a Nazi, which they assume that you are. So, I mean, can't engage. It's like, they're out there messaging. They should be engaging. That's the whole idea. They should be engaging. Hearts and minds. Right there. Like, they've got the people in the cars that they harangue every week with this. They should be talking to John and looking into this camera right here and explain to us what we're missing.
Explain to me why I'm wrong. Explain to me why I'm wrong. Defend your position. Does anybody have the courage to defend their position? No. Just smile and wave. Just smile and wave. Looking to have a legitimate conversation, but no. No. Okay.
Hey, I'm noticing a big lack of rainbow colors here. They
How about you, sir? Can you defend your position out here today? You're taking time to, do your First Amendment rights. You're live on Mainwire TV, the most watched show in Maine. Tell us why you're on here. Oh, okay.
They know that they can't say it. They know
nobody wants to talk, huh?
So they won't say anything.
Well, why you're out here?
Why am I out here?
Yes, sir. Why?
Because the current president is acting like a king. I think that's wrong.
Okay.
I want the government to apply absolutely nothing. I'm surprised if anybody does.
So, yeah, so let's talk about it. So, what do you hope to accomplish by today's protest? The president doesn't affect my life one way or the other. I believe in all politics is local. I believe, local politics has much more effect on me. So, Trump derangement syndrome I've never understood. Like, he doesn't really have a big impact on your life or my life, but, your local boards have a lot of impact on your life. So I'm just wondering why people would stand on the corner and worry about him.
I'm surprised that there's anyone who thinks that the leader of a nation like this has no effect.
I did say no effect, but would you agree that your local mayor, your selectman would have a bigger? Oh, we're outside.
I know, but I'm only from your face.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So Trump derangement syndrome makes your ear sensitive. I got it. Okay, thank you.
Ask him what Trump is doing that's king-like.
Okay. So,
you guys went to the house where the vehicle was loaded, and you asked for the ride to come down to Mexico to pick up product. Okay, I'm gonna give you a good
I think we lost John's audio.
Can't hear you, John. Oh no, he's answering my question too.
It's a critical moment too.
Read lips.
Because she told me completely.
Well, you were talking about the rainbow.
Today, did
LGBTQ.
A war of choice
for you right there.
Aren't all wars of choice? All wars are of choice, aren't they?
I don't think the Ukrainians are fighting a war of choice. I think they were attacked by
But we're not at war with Ukraine, so that's the reason why you don't like Trump? Because who was the president when the Ukraine war started? Remind me, Joe Biden? Yeah, but you got to be factual.
You're talking over me.
Oh, I'm not talking over you, sir. I'm just talking so people can hear. That's all. So who started the response in Ukraine? Was that Joe Biden or Donald Trump?
The response in Ukraine started by the Ukrainians.
Okay.
And
that's why you don't like Trump.
That one of the reasons I am concerned about is the war of choice. That's what I think.
Okay. I think that's a valid point. I think it's a valid point.
I'm very concerned about it. I'm very concerned about it costing us money, which that the founders of this country had trouble with the kings, that they would start wars, but the kings didn't have to get involved. But the populace of Germany, $1 billion a day, you and I are paying for that. I don't want to.
So, do you want Iran to have a nuclear bomb?
Iran, the situation with Iran, I was confident was in good shape. I, in fact, know
Iranians have said for hundreds of years they want to, eliminate the Jews.
Well, then, and the Jews have said they want to eliminate the Iranians. So, there we are.
Okay.
Okay. But on the other hand, I don't want anything something fun ever used me.
So,
and that's ours.
Okay. So why are you still here?
I'm ashamed of that. I was born here.
Okay. But if you're ashamed of America, why do you live in America?
My 19-year grandfather came to Plymouth Colony.
Okay.
And I'm here. I have every right.
When was the last time we used a nuclear bomb, though?
Because it's my.
When was the last time we used a nuclear bomb?
Time any nation has ever used.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly. So.
No, but
Exactly.
Why you're asking?
Well, my point is
we both know the answer.
my point is if you're embarrassed by America after all these years, why are you still here, though?
My turn to talk.
Yes, please.
When you ask a question, we both know the answer. It's like
No, it's not a trap. You said you were ashamed of America.
Why are you asking me a question we both know?
I don't know why you're ashamed of America.
I asked why you were asking a question we both know the answer.
When we last used the nuclear bomb. Right. So
why did you ask me that?
Because you're a grown man, you have freedom of choice. Your words, you're ashamed of America for them using it. You could have left.
Not what you asked. You asked me about that.
Okay. No, but you said earlier in the comment that
you're one of those guys. What's that supposed to mean? It's not me.
I appreciate your time. I guess we're not going to agree to agree, but I appreciate the conversation.
If we have a conversation, but I don't agree to trap.
Okay, I get that.
I don't think that's a conversation.
I get it.
If you want to have a conversation, I'm good with it.
All right, well, I'll circle back then.
My name is Patrick.
Patrick, my name is John Featherstone.
Pleasure to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. I'll circle back when we're done. Thank you, sir. All right, so there we go. We met a nice guy. Met a nice guy. We don't agree, but very nice man. Very nice man.
Patrick, I think he may like you though. Might be partial to you.
Thank you.
Anything's possible. Anything's
All
possible.
people do is lie to me, so I get used to it after all. Yeah, I got a very cute dog here. Got a very, very cute dog. It's always nice. Trump derangement syndrome makes people very sensitive, don't they?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll let the people breathe for a minute or two.
All right, let's go to Joe Sokol's video here. I saw about 20 seconds of this, and I vomited. And this is Joe and Matt, I guess, went today exploring. And check this out. Joe, set it up first. Where are we looking at? Why are you out here? Out there.
So we're right in the middle of basically the district where you go buy things. It's by the mall. It's kind of dilapidated at this point. There's a lot of stores that have been, not really doing well. So there's buildings there. One of the buildings is the old Arby's building. And we're right at the old Arby's building. And that's basically it. It's just, at this point, an encampment that's been abandoned. It's the smell. The smell, you know what, Matt asked me, he's like, did you end up calling the police? So I was like, man, maybe I should call the police and tell them to check to see if there's a dead body back here.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw baby diapers, we saw baby toys. We're like, and it was one of the most unsettling moments because there's a lot of smelly places, but this really smelled like death. And there's no explaining it until you're in the middle of it and you're seeing all that filth.
Yeah, this is Bangor or Portland or Lewiston. Where's?
It's in Bangor. Yep, it's right off Main Road, Stillwater.
Okay, let's check it out.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, this is creepy. This is the creepiest one yet. Well, City of Bangor, we unlocked another encampment site. This came in from a tip from one of you. It's right by the mall, right around Best Buy, the old Arby's. And, whoa, we got a mess. So we're going to check it out. Let's go. Something good over here. Here's some gloves. They had their handy-dandy kits. Oh, some weed. Liquid diamonds. They got enough money for that.
Joe, you need gloves, man.
John's rich. Oh. Some gauzes. Some sickness medicine. They definitely steal this, for sure. And some... It's full kept. It's like full. Drug kit, fentanyl.
Gotta get gloves.
Oh, wow. Oh, that jump does smell really bad. Guess we got you one. This is where it gets nasty. What is that? Okay, here we go. Dear Lord, do not let me get 7,000 ticks on me. What's that? Oh, there's syringes, there's needles.
I think the ticks are the least of your worries in this one.
Yeah.
This is a bad one, dude. Oh, this is nasty. I haven't been to a spot where I didn't want to walk. That's creepy. That's really creepy. That was so weird.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Oh, how does it? Why?
Ugh.
There's just so much filth and trash. It's crazy. Oh, what is in that bag over there, huh? Matt, I made Matt go look at that bag too.
Yeah, I would have too.
Okay, to do.
Yeah, I'm not in the cadaver business.
Yeah, that's...
What the flip is in there, dude? If there's a dead body, that smell is a dead body, that would be freaking crazy. That could potentially be a dead body. We gotta see.
And Joe drags it out with his bare hand.
You sure you don't want to go back that way and get all that footage? Looks like only room for someone your size, so. I don't have to pick all the ticks off today. Oh, jeez. That only looks like you're fine, bro. You might have to go solo. What kind of a cameraman would you be if you didn't get that shot?
How did you get in there, Matt?
His long arms.
Is that your hand?
Yeah, he arms. That's where the smell was coming from.
Oh.
That's what worries me, that area. It was like a fenced-off area. There's diapers in there. Oh, there is a lock. Why? They just bypassed the lock. What? Dude, there's somebody back here with a child. 1,000%. At this point, there's a whole bunch of kids stuff. There's kids medicines. There's so much kids stuff. There's kids toys. There's a bath full of stuffed animals. There's diapers. So somebody was living here with a child. So to close it off, we have seen the most disgusting encampment yet. We haven't even gone in this. This thing looks like it's locked, but for some reason there's things in there, multiple things. I don't know, but we should probably somehow figure out how to remove these blemishes from our city and then fix the problem, because we have a big one. I'm Joe Sokol. I'll see you around.
That's terrifying. The kid living there is horrifying.
It's a problem.
Yeah, and when the city, or if the city comes clean that up, they'll all be in biohazard suits. You know that? Like just a mess. Can you imagine?
That's like, yeah, Joe. You gotta get a like hazmat suit or something, because that's how you get AIDS or one of the.
I'll get some gloves. Yeah, they're all over Bangor is like that. So there's tips that come in so much, and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't think there's so many spots, because you're like just going around town. You see the normal town spots aren't like that. Then when you see the corners and the crevices, it's just crazy. And of course they don't exist. Go to city council and people say they don't even exist. Like this stuff doesn't exist. It's like, yeah, okay.
That's better than Arby's, right?
That was the Arby's, old Arby's.
So the Arby's is not in business anymore.
No, but interestingly, they're coming back to that building.
Amazing.
I wonder. Wow. Okay.
That's what the news is. They'll be back in that building.
John, you're muted.
Alright guys, I ran it, I'm walking down the main street here. Every other flag is a pride flag, and every other flag is an American flag. So we have equal billing of pride flags and American flags in Kennebunkport. But I just ran into two very normal people who don't think that boys belong in girls' locker rooms. You're live on Maywire TV. Tell us what's going on.
Russ Barkwich, great to be here, standing up for common sense.
Tough day, unfortunately, for the Protect Girls side.
Did you hear about the judge?
Oh yeah, I just heard.
The judge agreed with the Secretary of State. Yeah.
Laura Libby just posted. I saw it on Facebook. Yeah. We'll be back next year.
No, you're appealing it to the Supreme Court. You're appealing it to the
Supreme Court. Federal Supreme.
States. Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear.
Can you hear me? Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If there were some people who wanted boys to be in girls' sports and wanted to talk to you about it right now in the street, would you allow them to engage with you and have a discussion? Or
Absolutely, yes. In fact, Tuesday, we spent 5 hours over at the polls engaging with people, conversation, and I was able to pull up fact and study and research, point after point after point. Most of them didn't want to listen. So they don't want to hear actual answers. They want echo chamber, or they don't care.
Yeah. Well, their whole contention is that it's being cruel to trans girls if you don't let them pretend to be girls and have a place in the team. And if you say that it's cruel to the girls in the team, they'll say, "Oh, come on." I mean, they'll get over it. They'll get over it. They get to do so many other girl things.
So the other side of my sign is lying isn't loving. So lying to these boys, letting them think that they're girls, is not a loving thing to do. But that's who they are. It's not about love for them.
No.
It's agenda.
It's purely like they frame it as love, but it's purely a self-love where they get to feel good about themselves. Like the point is to make them feel good about themselves. It's not actually for the kid.
No, it's not. It's all part of the queering of America, queering the American child. It's Marxism at its finest. This is just the latest iteration. But communists, Democrats want a communist to be their senator.
Do you feel like the tide is turning? Maybe not right now. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I've been doing this every Thursday afternoon for the last probably 15 months, and we get more recognition now than we were ever getting back then. Thank you.
I think about 5 years ago, a lot of people were afraid to say anything, and businesses were afraid to say anything. Then a lot of these European countries, stopped doing these radical trans surgeries.
Finland, Sweden, Norway, yes.
Yeah, and I think it started to seep in. People are marinating in this, and people like you stand up. It makes other people say, you know what, maybe it's okay to say the sane thing, say the true thing, like you said, lying is loving. No, but it's a tragic part. It's a tragic. No, it's a tragic part of our American history that we'll remember. Much like when the lobotomy was, general practice, people will remember this part of American history and say, "What the hell were we thinking?"
I raised that fact to the school board probably 5 months ago that this will go the way of the lobotomy soon. We're looking for the Supreme Court to come out, Little D. Eacock and PBJ. Let's go for a clean sweep. Clean sweep. Queen Street too, I guess.
All right, hey, great.
Thank you very much.
Keep up the good work. Great to see you. Thank you, ma'am. Good to see you. We'll be back.
Absolutely. And if somebody up there wants to talk, bring receipts.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna get to something here. Piece we published today. Where is it? Piece we published today by Ted Daniels, who's the soldier who Plattner went after. And this is an op-ed by Ted Daniels, and I thought it was a really, really good op-ed. As a matter of fact, I thought it was one of the most effective op-eds that I've seen. Actually, Teddy Daniels. I can't find it here. It's not on this website.
I had about an hour phone conversation with Ted today. We've got some epic things planned. Stay tuned. So,
and yeah, good. I gotta tell you, John, I was not expecting the op-ed to be fantastic like it was. I thought it would be just fine, but probably boilerplate. It is really interesting and very, very good insight, and he goes somewhere where you wouldn't expect him to necessarily. This is Teddy Daniels, Maine Democrat Senate nominee. Graham Plattner has come under heavy fire for his many immoral and vile statements. These include lying about a Nazi tattoo, justifying rape, denigrating American hero Chris Kyle, and making remarks about me. I'm the soldier in the viral combat video who Plattner stated, quote, didn't deserve to live. Plattner and his supporters always fall back on the excuse that Plattner suffers from PTSD. Many Americans suffer from PTSD, myself included. The issue isn't PTSD. We should be blaming his elitist background. Due to Plattner's privileged upbringing, I seriously doubt he had to truly face any consequences for his abhorrent behavior. We all know a Graham Plattner in our lives. He is you know who my daddy is? I can do whatever I want type of guy. Plattner's family sent him to elite schools and as an adult financed vacations and trips to Europe. His father gave him $200,000 for his house, and his mother is his oyster farming client. They have extended a large safety net, essentially not letting him fail in life or learn the lessons associated with struggle. Once again, this line is great. They have extended a large safety net, essentially not letting him fail in life or learn the lessons associated with struggle. He has lacked many of the character-building experiences associated with enduring the hardships of life and the struggles that working-class Americans endured on a daily basis. Graham Plattner's behavior is not based upon his diagnosis of PTSD, but rather on being coddled in a socialite society where accountability is non-existent. Plattner has never experienced the rigors of raising children, providing for a family, stressing about bills, or doing what it takes to be a true man. He has continued to act like an entitled child and shirk any responsibility because he has always had his socialite and elitist families to fall back on. It goes more and more like that, and it rings true to me that he is the kind of guy who, like Ted Daniels says, is always gotten everything and always is protected by mommy's wealth and daddy's wealth. And like I know guys like this, Joda. Don't you know guys like this who like are insulated from everything?
Yeah, the whole Graham Plattner aura is not of a working man. Never thought that. I don't know how people believe it, honestly. But.
We're here for Maine.
Yeah, and look,
we're Mainers too.
Seamus, there's more stuff that's come out today, like the text thread with an ex-girlfriend of his who talked about his weird noises he makes, his small endowment, which I consider out of bounds for just as a man. Like, come on, guys, we need to have a standard of civilization here, but that is out of bounds. It's a technical foul, whatever. And then she also mentioned in this that he stole her pie plate, which I thought was very interesting.
What you just witnessed was a crash at Extreme.
But it was kind of a small thing, and at the same time, it's a dick move that you're not surprised by.
Graphic imagery is excluded from this video.
What does he care?
In 2021, officers from both the Solon and
It's
Bentleyville
clear
Police
from
Department in
just
Ohio found themselves
everything that we
involved
know
in a
about him
chase.
that,
The suspect and his
I
accomplice
mean,
in the passenger seat were discovered.
I don't know how he got so many women to stay with him longer than a single date at all, given the way that he clearly acts towards them. I don't think that this is surprising. This is a drop in the bucket for him.
I think we're missing out too, like, so this was during when he was had his current wife,
when he was
right?
engaged. Yeah, this is when he was engaged. So
he brought the pie home and made his current wife some pie that his mistress made him, and then didn't bring the pie thing.
That's a good point. I didn't think of him bringing it home and her being there, but she
had her pie.
Well, hold on, Joe, because we don't know if he was cohabitating with his wife at the time. So this could have been when he imprisoned his Republican girlfriend, and he might have slid the pie under the door so that she'd have some sustenance.
He could have been living with. He could have been living with one woman while engaged to his current wife, while also stealing this woman's pie.
Yes. I mean,
she took the pie today, the pie dish, and broke it. You know, if he still's got, it's probably still in the house, and now she's looking at it like, that's where that stupid thing came from, and now she can't say anything, so she just goes out and has like a freak out fit, and it's broken, and they're just not talking today.
Well, it is interesting though, Joe. You do bring up something that's interesting, because if you're going to be him when he's engaged and when he's married, by the way, and he's got his different apps he uses, and his burn rate for chicks that he's seeing is high because he's like enthused. This is the thing that he likes to do. You've got to be comfortable lying to people's faces. You've got to be. There's too many lies and too many things you have to put together. Like I've had friends who've had one affair, and that one affair requires 3,000 lies, and it requires us to be like a lot of us to like be in on some of them too. But if you're having multiple, and like not only you certainly can't have the fiance find out, but also the other girlfriends as well. There's a lot going on. So you wonder what has he been doing? Yeah, he's been cultivating, maintaining his web of lies so he can have a steady line of chicks, which is I don't think that there's. I mean, we all know, guys.
Yeah, I got it.
We would probably were guys when we were younger, drinking and trying to pick up women. Everybody's had some time, generally, probably in that zone, one way or another. And even if he wants to be an adult child at 36 to do it,
Oh, John is down in Kennebunk. I don't know where the other guys are broadcasting from. They're all Maine, but John is down in Kennebunk.
Let's talk about I don't want to keep it in a mean way, but the volume of women and then the choices of women. It's not like. I mean, there's not a woman that I would ever cheat on with for my wife, but there are different classes of women. So he's just burning and turning. There's not I had to talk to this girl. There's just just grab that off the shelf. Oh, look at that one. I'm gonna take that one off the shelf. I'm gonna just get them all. So it's a little intense.
And it's interesting, Joe, because he's an oysterman, So if you're a bartender, and I assume bars in DC close at 2 a.m. I'm not sure, but at 2 a.m. This is essentially everything's already in the trap at that point. These women are drunk. They have not been successful in hooking up. This is kind of easy pickings if you're a single guy.
But still, even though I'll give him credit because even though they're maybe the easy pickings girls, and no offense to them out there. We're just saying that might be the case. He's still, I mean, it's unprecedented. So he still has to use his mouth, but so he's talking a game. And he's still
right, I see something simple like that. Oh,
even though they're kind of difficult,
I don't
I've
feel
seen
that way, but
fail
other people
at that
say
time
it.
of the night. So
People might not know
out
that
there.
unless he had
He's
just
still out
said
there
it.
throwing that game, and that's
right. So
that's
it could
what
be
he
the
does.
same kind of
Well,
thing
maybe
when
we're
Greg
just
Plattner saying those things. 'Cause
Hey,
people
Tom,
say it
Tom,
and they hear it
Tom,
for
a little bit
years
of an
and
update.
different things.
There's a very nice restaurant down the street called Bev's. Was plastered in Plattner signs before the main wire broadcast. They don't have Plattner signs up right now. So Matt, tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so there's a bagel shop down there. They were covered in Plattner signs. I'll send you guys video that when I took that a couple of days ago when they had all the signs up. When I came back today, all the signs are down. I don't know what's changed in the last 2 days. Not really much, I would assume, but clearly enough for them to take them down. But don't worry, there's still plenty of them up here. These people are standing with their man, but it's crazy to see some of the stuff that's changing, but then you come up here and you see nothing's really changed. They're standing by their man, which is what's so crazy to me.
Yeah, they always do, though, right? Especially the ones who most loudly tell us that they're not going to stand by their man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
But as long as he's a Democrat and a progressive, he's good to go. It's crazy.
And how long do they usually stand out here?
Oh, you'll see it at about 4:59. They'll pack it up and they'll be out of here by 5. It's their hour. It's their 1 hour of civic duty per week.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that these are, to a person, retirees.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Desperate need of a shower and a haircut. So.
Oh my goodness. You have them like filthy long hairs of Woodstock, John.
It does have a Woodstock effect this afternoon. Certainly. I mean, you can't find a more lovely community in New England than this community right here. But I keep saying it. Every other flag is the pride flag, and every other flag is the American flag. So the American flag has equal standing as the pride flag in Kennebunkport. But they want to cancel the Christmas activities around here because Christmas is offensive. But we can put up give equal billing to pride flags and the American flag here. I mean, what does that tell you?
I think the equal billing is a coincidence because I think really the pride flag is superior. They would be flying the pride flag above the American flag if they were allowed.
That's a good point, David. That's a good point. Yeah.
The LGBTQIA community did not bomb Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and we could hear that Peter was upset by using the A-bomb. And so, I mean, that is a safe thing. These are people who are not pleased with the history of this country. I'm surprised Peter mentioned that his people have been here since wooden boats, because there's a lot of baggage that comes with that. According to his friend group, they colonized that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, maybe he feels better about it because he lives in the North, so he doesn't think any of his ancestors owned slaves. That might be part of it. But yeah, I think he's forgetting the evils of colonialism.
Well, yeah, or maybe it's the fact that there's still like at the end of the day when they're in their we're in their renovated Victorian mansions. At the end of the day, sipping cognac. They are happy to have proud conversations about the white Anglo-Saxon journey that got them to where they are. Every progressive is an elitist. They think that they.
But I think it runs too deep, Tom. I think that they are elitists, but I don't think that they are elitists in a way that I don't think they look back in pride on their history. There's probably one guy in their history who fought in World War II and they're proud of him because he fought the Nazis, and there's one guy in their history who fought in the Union Army during the Civil War and they're proud of him. But other than that, I don't think they probably like thinking about their ancestors much at all.
Hey guys, when we go to Preble Street or Joe's up in Bangor and he's filming the homeless, and then we get the nasty comments like we're exploiting people. Well, what about this elderly man who is standing in the crosswalk for the last 45 minutes? He's probably going to get hit by a car and holding an Epstein clown sign. Is that any different than the drugged out guy we find in Bangor or on Preble Street? And mental illness is mental illness, right? I mean, what is going on here? This poor guy's going to get run over.
They're equally employed, probably.
it is just crazy to think of you living your, like, you've lived 80 years on this earth, and you still want to go out and, like, hold a sign in the street like a crazy person? Like,
Seamus, I want to take up something that you said when you said that they're proud of their ancestor who fought in World War II. I think they hate him. They hate that. That's their dad. That's their dad who judged
okay,
them.
you're right. I was miscalculating the age of these people. It probably is their dad, so yeah, that's a good point. They probably do age.
Oh yeah, he judged them. He didn't give them credit for like the fact that they were at Woodstock, even though he was at Iwo Jima and never spoke about it once in his life. They wouldn't shut up about Woodstock and thought that they were the real heroes. And like he never balanced.
I was speaking as if they were like millennials or something who can look back and just think of World War II soldiers as being heroes just because they fought the Nazis. But you're right; these people, they knew them personally and they were their dads. So yeah, that's
another thing. Another thing I've noticed, and it's the same thing with the folks here, is my wife and I yesterday we were talking to somebody, and somebody else who was with them said he hates the country essentially because of Trump, and they said, great. I mean, I think the weather's great. The summer's going to be great. It's a bicentennial. Like it's too bad the country is what it is now. And then the funny thing is, it's like, what is the country now because of Trump? They're imagining that there's a dark cloud over the country now, and that we have to worry about brown shirts and tank parades, marauding SS officers. Like, it doesn't exist, but you know what, Joe? They think it does exist, and that's why they have the whistles to go after ICE, because they're seeing Nazis out there. So to them, it is an occupation.
Yeah, they really think that though. That's where they get that passion from. And you know what's crazy is this. I was looking up this town.
Can we ask you about your son?
What TV is it?
Mainwire TV. You've got an impeach, convict, remove. Are you talking about President Trump?
Oh yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you're asking
John.
Tom wants to talk. Can you talk to Tom?
I can't really see him.
Oh, it's okay. So if they impeach, convict Trump, then he won't be president anymore, but J.D. Vance then will be president. Is that good?
No, that's not good either. I think it really implies the whole consortium.
So all Republicans are bad?
Well, some of them that have been just standing along with Trump and doing all the things that he's been doing illegally, yeah, those are bad. Those guys are bad.
Okay.
There's some have broken from that, which is a good thing. I mean,
so you're voting for Susan Collins?
I was Susan Collins. I'm a Republican.
Okay.
And I mean, my dad was for Eisenhower. I remember him. But that was at different days. Republicans have changed. Most of them have become what's the word? Fascist. They're just like doing illegal things. And
so what's your you bring up a good point. We're just trying to have a conversation. What is your definition of a fascist?
Well, they're just going against the law, and the Constitution.
Is that Webster's dictionary?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think of. Well, what is Webster's dictionary?
Well, I don't call people fascists, so I'm not a name caller. But your side throws around fascist a lot, so I'm just wondering, like, I would think, you're on the impeach Trump side, so yeah.
Citizens.
No, absolutely, and you're entitled to your opinion, but when people throw out the word fascist a lot, I often wonder, what is their definition of fascist? And, everybody's entitled to their opinion, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Ukraine guy?
John, please talk to the Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Ukraine still holding a
About Ukraine, they want to ask you about Ukraine. Go ahead, Tom.
Trump is a quitter. He's taco.
He's taco. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What does that mean, taco?
It means he backs out. We were, under Biden, we were full support of democracy in the European Union area. All right, Trump comes in, he cuts the funding, he backs off, he supports Putin. All right, to me that's taco. He has no courage. He backs off. It's a choice between democracy and communism. Who does he support? Communism. Okay. That's why I'm out here.
Can I ask you a question?
Actually, still the Soviet. Now I got a slew of questions. First of all, you said that Trump supports communism. Do you think that Russia is still the Soviet Union and a communist nation?
Do you think Russia is still a communist nation?
Most definitely. It's fascist.
Okay, that's objectively.
It's led by a dictator. And that's what we're afraid of in the United States. Someone who's taking control and not using the democratic process.
Okay.
A good example are tariffs. Tariffs are authorized by Congress.
So, okay.
He's trying to ask you another question. I'm sorry.
So, we've established that you don't know what the word fascist or the word communist means, but I'd like to hear, why do you think that Trump has abandoned Ukraine when we still provide them with a lot of weapons? Like, the United States continues to give Ukraine a significant amount of weapons.
I don't know that for a fact. I would say that's not true. I'd say he's backed off. I think he's backed off.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
So you mentioned that you have a disdain for communists, and I think we all do. You don't like communists. You made that very clear. And that Trump hanging around with Putin is him helping a communist. I don't like communists. I don't think anybody here likes communists. Graham Plattner's a self-described communist. Is that a deal breaker for you?
I don't know that for a fact. I have not heard him say he's a communist, that he supports that form of government.
If you had heard that, would you still support him?
It depends when he said it. If that was something that he said 20 years ago, I would disavow it. If he said it within the last 6 months, I would question my support of him.
Why 20 years ago would be acceptable? Just, I'm sorry. Why would that be acceptable 20 years ago and not 6 months ago?
Because people change their minds. They have a different outlook. When I was in college, it was fashionable to be a socialist, communist. I would support that now.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the conversation. Thank you for your time. Nice to meet you, sir.
I'm a veteran, by the way.
Thank you for your service.
All right.
Thank you for your service.
One of the reasons I'm adamantly opposed to Trump and his support of Ukraine. He's backed off, and I think he's a chicken.
Okay. Well, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Receives weapons.
Well, there you go. A good conversation.
I don't know. He was that guy was pissing me off, but. I don't like that he doesn't know what words mean. I don't like that he is very ignorant about the country that he wants. Like, his big thing is Russia and Ukraine, and he doesn't know anything at all about Russia, apparently. And
you knew here, Seamus, they never know.
I know. But also, his refusal to accept the fact of U.S. continued support for Ukraine. Like, what are you even out here for? Why are you protesting something like the United States still gives billions of dollars of weapons and intelligence support to Ukraine? Like, they can't target anything without. They literally can't target things inside of Russia without U.S. direct involvement with the targeting. It's still, it's still continued support.
Well, and here's the other thing, Seamus, is that, they invaded, the Russians invaded during Biden, and chances are that Ukraine's going to win under Trump. I don't have to give it to Trump or say it's because of Trump, but, things fall his way.
Not going to win.
They are going to win.
I do not believe that for a second.
Russia's lost 500,000 people now. That's a lot.
I don't know if that number is true, and you don't know if that number is true.
Yes, I do. I counted.
Hey guys, did you hear the bell? Did you hear the bell? Because that means that they have to go home now. So.
Can you go watch them packing up?
But there's still a king.
Thank you. I appreciate that, ma'am. I hope you have a good evening.
Can you see them packing up?
Oh yeah.
It is so funny that they're watching the clock for their punch cards so they can clock out. It's so funny.
I want to know what they do next. What do you think they do now?
They go home and talk about what they just did. How they
told off the fascist feathers. Oh yeah, that's
definitely going to talk about Dawn for sure. After those people are going to be
I couldn't believe what happened today. Blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. That story's going to keep him going till next time.
Well, all right, John. Should we wrap it up here?
I don't know. I'm probably going to need a security detail to walk me to my car, but that's okay.
The stop is completely incorrect.
What are they going to hit you with a...
Officer to provide their identification when
What's that? What are you talking about, the Maywire?
He said you're jaywalking.
Oh, I'm not jaywalking.
They love throwing that around.
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, more misinformation here from the protest here in Kennybunk Park, but very nice group of people. Very nice group of people. Lovely community, but they don't like difference of opinion in Kennybunk Park.
But you did find a few good ones, John. That was good. Great job out there. Where are they all going?
Does Soros pay you cash or does he send you a check? How does that work? Oh, you get a check? Okay, good. Okay.
I think we need a second person. So we need somebody playing good cop out there with John. I think sometimes.
So I mean, they punch in at 4 o'clock and they punch out at 5.
It's so funny.
They're probably getting overtime because it's 5:03 right now. So I mean, it's unbelievable. Totally unbelievable.
They must have. I bet they all have like one. There's one restaurant spot that they all go to afterwards to get drinks.
Doesn't this? I mean, the fact that they all showed up right at 4 and they left at 5 makes me very convinced that this is a paid detail.
It's not, John. It's not that I don't think that that's the sort of thing that would happen, but it also, I kind of think when people talk about them being paid protesters, it almost takes away from the fact that they're just I think they're just crazy people. Like I think that they are just like this. I think it's just old retirees who don't have anything better to do. Maybe they get something, but I think they'd be out here doing this on their own, even if they didn't get something.
I did like the guy who hated the communists, like would grit his teeth when he talked about them.
Yeah.
Straight out, taco. All right, we should get going.
I liked that he hated communists. That was a good thing from him.
Except for one.
And it seemed like he genuinely hated communists too. It wasn't like it seems like he knew at least somewhat what communists were, whether or not he knows that Russia is not currently communist.
Well, that's the reason why, according to the rules for radicals, that's why you're not supposed to engage, because he's probably a guy who could have had a longer conversation and had a beer,
Yeah.
Ah, my goodness, John, great job. Yes.
Hey, Joe, love having you on the team, but I'm sending you a box of gloves, buddy. I mean, come on, you're scaring me.
I'll get some gloves. I'll wear it on this hand. I might pick up with this hand.
All right. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good work.
Technologio's video, Joe Sokol, that is Seamus Othod of the Meanwire, and John Feddersen. My name is Tom Shattuck. We'll see you tomorrow here at 4 p.m. right here on Meanwire TV.
Give me my property back, you piece of... Give me my property back. You see this? You tyrant pieces. What are your badge numbers? Step back. No, you stole my property. You see anything in my hands? You stole your property. Have a nice day.
Jonathan goes on to tell the officers that he's going to be right back here with a new sign as soon as he can. As he drives away, he makes an insulting hand gesture towards the cops. And of course, they pull him over for it. What happens over the course of this traffic stop is not just dumb, it's downright corrupt.
You're stopping me for constitutionally protected speech, right? Because you had your finger, your hand out the window. This is what I did. You got a problem with that? Sorry, listen to me. Listen to me. No. All right, this go away. Disorderly conduct. No, it is not. That is disorderly conduct. That is called... Go away. No. You don't see you. No, it is not. No, license, please. No, that's what happened. I want your supervisor, please. I am the supervisor. That's why I'm here.
Both officers seem to be stumbling over exactly what they have pulled him over for, and it's honestly starting to look embarrassing at this point.
And I'm going to take you to court. Here's what I'm take you to court. That's what I want you to do. That's what I want you to take it to court. So before we go any farther, you're pulling me over for what? Because you disorderly conduct. You had your finger. Disorderly conduct. What? That's what's about to happen. You're about to be arrested. Resisting arrest. No, I'm not resisting anything. Yeah. Right now you're being detained.
How did they not know that?
That's why I stopped you already, sir. For putting my middle finger up. That's correct. You extended your arm out the window. No, I had my middle finger out the window. Okay, let me get your ID. You had your middle finger out the window.
It appears the officers are trying to arrest him on any charges they can, and when that doesn't work, they resort to dirty tricks.
So next thing you do, we're going to take you in, we're going to tow the car, and we'll call social services.
So the market has...
Now you're threatening my child. You're threatening my child. I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Was summoned for a clarification meeting, and
India delivered a strong protest over this event. The President of the United States revealed that his military is secretly securing the movement of ships in the Strait. According to him, in a secret operation over the past month, more than 100 million barrels of oil and more than 200 commercial ships passed through the Strait of Hormuz under the American security. This is a secret operation carried out by the United States military in order to ensure freedom of navigation in the area. Trump claimed that Washington controls the Strait of Hormuz, not Iran. Following the American strikes, the Supreme Command of the Revolutionary Guards announced that Iran had completely closed the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranians threatened that any vessel that tries to pass through the strait would be attacked. This is including oil tankers and commercial ships. It was also stated that 2 vessels that tried to cross the strait were attacked. The Revolutionary Guards also threatened that Iran's armed forces would respond in a crushing and decisive way to any aggression by the United States in this area. On Iranian state television, it was reported that in response to the American strikes, Iran attacked forces of the United States 5th Fleet in the Bahrain area using drones. However, U.S. Central Command stated that the strait was not closed and that no American ships were attacked. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, told Fox News, "If the Iranians do not sign an agreement, we will bomb the heck out of them once more tonight." And despite the exchange of fire between the American military and Iran, a senior American diplomatic official said this morning that the negotiations are still continuing. This comes after Donald Trump said, even during the strikes, that he had spoken directly with Iranian officials and added, "They asked me to stop bombing." The United States attacked the engine room of the oil tanker MT Stibello, which it said tried to break the blockade on Iran. And following the strike, the representative of the American embassy in Delhi was summoned for a clarification meeting with a strong protest. Just on Monday, U.S. Central Command attacked another tanker that had 24 Indians on board. So I want to update that the negotiations between the United States and Iran for an initial agreement are moving forward despite the ongoing exchanges of fire. Iranian sources told the Reuters news agency that the sides have already reached understandings in principle, but several issues are still being discussed. Amongst these issues are the mechanism for releasing frozen Iranian assets abroad, worth tens of billions of dollars. And while the Gulf is burning, Hezbollah's strongest base has simply broken, and an unimaginable move has already begun. Could the Iran-United States war also reach American soil? Despite the war against the United States that is taking place in the Middle East, the Iranian regime has decided to send its players to the World Cup, and there is a good chance that they will face the American team. So a lot is ahead of us, so let's dive into the details. I'm Yair Pinto, with me is Mati Shoshani, and we are here on Boots on the Ground. We bring you the full truth about what is happening here in Israel and about the war against the Revolutionary Guards in Iran, which is the head of the crumbling axis of evil in the Middle East. In 1 second before we begin, I want to call on you to keep spreading the truth. Share our content with as many people as possible. Click on the subscribe button. Most importantly, do not forget to look for me, Yair Pinto, and for Mati Shoshani on our social media accounts to get a look through our eyes and what it's like to live here in Israel under this war. So, our senior Middle East correspondent Mati Shoshani, are the American strikes in the Strait of Hormuz only a specific response or an attempt to dismantle the maritime blockade and blackmail mechanism which Iran built this entire campaign?
Yes, we're living in a bit of a confusing time right now, and let me try and explain what's actually happening here. We're in this bizarre in-between period, between when the real full-on war ended and when the war will, well, or conclude in an agreement or go back to exchanges of fire. And right now we're in the middle of that, where the Iranians are trying to figure out what the US and Israel are willing to do, and what Israel and Iran, or Israel and the US, are showing the Iranians what they are willing to do in return, in response to that. And this is an important phase, because right now we're shaping the relationship as it's going to look very likely for weeks, and possibly months ahead of us. And there's an important thing that's happening right now that isn't static. We're not at all in a stuck position right now. We're fighting a war that is a war of attrition, at the end of which the Iranian regime will or crack and be replaced, or will sign an agreement. That's the best case scenario. There is a worst case scenario, which has happened in the past, by the way, against Iran. For those who are fighting against Iran, the United States and others, in the past there was a non-conventional war, as in a quiet war, where they signed bad agreements with Iran. But hopefully we don't get to that point. Hopefully where we're going is a good agreement with Iran, and I'll get to that in a second, or full-on military pressure and conflict on them. Why is that? If you watch this channel repeatedly, in recent weeks you've heard several times from different experts the same repeated message regarding the Iranian regime. They're weaker now than they were before. They are split. They speak in separate voices. You have components within the IRGC, the hardcore leadership of the Revolutionary Guards, who want a holy war, who want to see the Middle East burn down, to go up in flames. And there are others in the government, others in Iran, who want a much more moderate path of action, who want something like an agreement, who say that they shouldn't continue fighting. Those two parts are not in agreement. They're fighting against each other. We're just not privy to those conversations happening. We just see here and there the symptoms of them take place. What we're seeing right now is Israel and the United States, and especially when it comes to President Trump, responding very strongly to these probes by the Iranians. The Iranians are trying to see, can we fight against the U.S.? Can we weaken U.S. allies? Can we attack Gulf states and get away with it? And they've received a very clear message in missiles, in fire, in financial pressure on them that says the following: if you mess with us or our friends, the response is coming. Today and every day. What we've seen in recent nights is exactly that. It is a bold, clear response from the U.S. to the Iranians saying, if you think you're going to be able to shape this game, you're wrong. We are the ones shaping the game. You are the ones on the losing side of this equation, on a military level and on a financial level. And the faster you wake up to that reality, the better the life for you, the leadership of Iran, will be. And in the intermediate period, where we are right now, there's an ongoing saga where Iran is trying to find their way, finagle their way out of the very unpleasant situation that they're in. And the US and Israel, repeatedly in recent weeks, but specifically in this last week, have shown them that their attempts to go back to a status quo where they hold the Strait of Hormuz hostage, where they're using their proxies, specifically Hezbollah, to fight against Israel, and they can get away with that, that reality no longer exists in this world. When they attack, through proxies or directly, there is a strong response that is painful to them. All the while, the financial pressure on Iran continues. The military blockade, the financial blockade on them continues. And hear me when I say this. There is more up the sleeve of the American armed forces that they have not yet used against Iran that can cause further pain, further unpleasant situations, further friction for them in the future that will force them to eventually or change regime one way or another, but more likely come to some kind of agreement that is agreeable for the U.S. But I said in the opening of this segment, Israel and the United States can live without an agreement. An agreement will be easier, especially for the Trump administration, but we can live without it. And that is a reality Iran needs to contend with and learn to live with.
Mati, is Iran now in a decision-making crisis, even deeper than the military crisis, because there may be no single figure in the Tehran abilities in the whole of Iran that is capable of signing a stowaway concession without being seen as a traitor to the revolution?
The equation between the Israeli Air Force, the American Air Force, and the Iranian adversary has been pretty much the same since the beginning of the war. In the most clear, the most obvious way, Iran and its friends in the region are militarily inferior to the power of the US and Israel. And let me explain that. When it comes to being able to stop a strike by the Israeli Air Force or the American Air Force, the Iranians don't have the ability. They do have air defense systems, but they are inferior to what we have as far as attack capabilities. They do have the ability here and there to harm aircraft. As we've seen, they knocked down a Apache helicopter sometime just in this last week, an American one. But that happens in war. That doesn't mean that they have the upper hand. The reality is they keep trying to rebuild their air defenses every time there's a substantial strike and then a break afterwards. But ultimately, their systems are inferior. In this last round, between what happened several months ago and now, the Iranians have brought in additional air defense systems that they purchased, according to certain sources, from the Chinese, mobile air defense systems. And yet, Israel and the United States can punch through their air defenses. And something needs to be said here. Air defenses, and the ability to stop a foreign invader from flying through your skies, it's not this simple equation of, do I have the system or do I not have the system? These systems work in tandem. They work together. They require skilled operators. They require a deep knowledge base behind them. And on the attacking side, there's a huge component to how you are able to use military deception and other tools. Recent stories that have come out about the beginning of this war back in February and how Israel was so effective in striking in Iran, by the way, also last year in Operation Midnight Hammer, Am Kelavi in Hebrew, Rising Lion in Israeli terms. Last year, there was a story that came out that said that Iranian trained Mossad operators were the ones who helped to knock out some of the communication nodes and air defense systems in Iran. To make a long story short, Israel and the United States have air superiority over Iran. It's a question of what targets we want to strike, not whether or not we can strike them. Now, again, in the military game, there always is risk. There might be a day, and I hope it doesn't come, that an Israeli or an American aircraft is knocked down over Iran, and the pilots don't make it out. So far, several have been hurt, but they've all made it out alive, even with the substantial military operation to carry them out. So there is a risk, but overall, when you look at the grand scheme, the macro level of this conflict, Israel and the United States always have air superiority above Iran. And then it's a question of what targets do we want to strike, not whether or not we can strike those targets. That is the important thing to remember here. And the United States and Israel have an enormous list of additional targets we can hit in Iran. Electricity grid, infrastructure related to the petrochemical industry, much of it. Wells, I mean, this goes on and on and on. We've been restraining ourselves, Israel and the United States, up to this point because it is the right thing to do right now. Again, I want to remind you, our war is not against the people of Iran, not at large. It's against the Ayatollah regime of Iran that has taken those people hostage. That is important to remember, important to note. And as we move on with this war, here and there we're going to see these flare-ups as we did in this last week, where Israel and the United States attack strategic targets in Iran. That doesn't mean we can't attack other targets, it's that we're choosing to attack these ones at this time. Now let's talk about the Iranian perspective in all of this for just a second. They've lost a lot of face in front of their people. Their people now know very clearly that when Israel and the United States want to fly undisturbed over their skies, we have the ability to do so day in, day out, in daytime, at low altitude, and almost unchallenged by Iranian air defenses. That damage has already been done. The prestige of the Iranian army, the prestige of the Iranian air defenses, that has already been knocked out by multiple Israeli and American strikes, both of the Iranians internally and externally. And more importantly, there's also the question of the other systems, the Russian, the Chinese systems that are integrated in the Iranian air defenses. There too, there has been a dramatic, just decline of perception of value of these systems in the eyes of both Iranian people and the international community. Where does that take us? It takes us to a situation where people in Iran have to think that any target is game if the US and Israel want to strike it. And they need to calculate that, knowing full well that they will not be able to stop the next strike when it happens. So when people say that Trump's hands are tied, he can't negotiate with the Iranians, or that there's nothing more that Israel can do in Iran, just think about this. Pretty much any target anywhere in Iran is permeable to American and Israeli strikes. We might not be able to destroy a bunker hundreds of feet under the ground, but most on-ground surfaces are fair game for the Israeli and American strikes. That's the situation now, and will be also in the future as we maintain air superiority and damage their air defenses as they try to redeploy them in these breaks between attack cycles.
And Mati, does Israel's shift from Lebanon back to Iran as the main arena meant that Jerusalem understood that the path to dismantle Hezbollah is no longer through southern Lebanon, but through weakening the landlord in Tehran, which is the Revolutionary Guard?
Yair, I love that question, because it goes straight to the core of how the Iranians operate. Their entire methodology, their defense doctrine for decades, has been the ring of fire. Warfare through proxies, deterrence through proxies. They set up, they funded, they trained, they equipped Hezbollah, the biggest terrorist organization on earth in recent decades. They trained them to the tune of billions of dollars per year. They trained up Hamas. They've spent a fortune on trying to indoctrinate and create terrorism cells within Judea and Samaria and also in many other countries around the world. They've done the same with the Houthis, and they've tried to do so also elsewhere in the world. Why do they do that? Because Iran looked at the proxies as an insurance card, a policy against Western attacks or American Israeli attacks on Iranian soil, because of the knowledge that when those countries want to attack Iran, the proxies will rain down fire on other countries. What's happened in recent years is that Hezbollah is no longer the same threat it was in the past, because Israel has been fighting against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Hamas is no longer a threat to Israel because of this 2.5-year war. Hamas is a fraction, a shell of what it used to be, barely existent compared to its forces in past years. The same applies to the Houthis, who've taken a substantial beating. They're not destroyed, but they've taken a beating from American attacks and some, to a lesser degree, Israeli attacks in recent years. What does that mean? That means that the Iranian ability to threaten other countries with a retaliation from the proxies is worth less now than it was in the past. That's the big takeaway from this entire conversation. And what happens because of that? Israel and the United States attack in Iran anytime they want without any real fear of retaliation from the proxies. Here and there some missiles come out. Well, look, Iran in its grand attack against Israel when it was trying to create this line in the sand over Israeli attacks in the Dakhia in Lebanon, where Israel is, essentially eliminating the leadership and the command centers of Hezbollah in a very systematic manner. Iran tried to stop Israel and threatened to attack. They launched 23 to 24 ballistic missiles that night, earlier this week. And in that attack, what happened? The Houthis in Yemen launched 2 ballistic missiles. That was the great attack that came out of Houthis. This vast proxy that's well equipped by Iranian, the best of their ballistic missiles and training, etc., was barely able to affect anything in this last campaign. And that shows you the level of weakness that Iranian proxies have experienced. And because of that, their ability to deter Israel or the United States is much lesser. Not only that, Israel and the United States have learned a lesson, and we're looking at the system as one big chunk, one big piece, and we say openly, we want to take away that weapon from Iranian hands. We're going to eliminate their ability to harm Israel through Hezbollah, and we're doing it right now in Lebanon. We will eliminate their ability to do it through the Houthis. You saw American operations over a 2-year period in Yemen against Houthi targets to do exactly that, and we've seen the same when it comes to Hamas and the Gaza Strip. So Iran's doctrine has failed. They thought they would be able to deter Israel and the United States indefinitely. That hasn't been working anymore. We strike with impunity within Iran, time and time again, without fear of their retaliation through their proxies. And hear me, guys, we're not done yet. By the time this war is over, Hezbollah will be very little compared to what it used to be. It will be a fraction, a fragment of the fighting force they used to be, and Israel will never again forget the lesson we learned on October the 7th and allow Hezbollah terrorists to inhabit the border regions of northern Israel. That is a new reality in the Middle East. That is a new status quo in the Middle East. Iran will never again be allowed to deploy proxies in the way they did in the past. Take note of Israeli actions, of American actions in recent months, to see how far we're willing to go to eliminate the Iranian proxy ability. What used to be will no longer be. Iran will no longer be able to threaten through proxies. Israel has taken note, as has the US, and we will continue to fight those proxies until they are no longer a threat to Israel or to other friends of America in this region.
That's how long it takes Megan.
Thanks, Matti. That certainly helped us better understand what's happening, what's going on in this region, and I appreciate your commentary. And to all of you, keep spreading the truth. Share content with as many people as possible. Click on the subscribe button. Look for Yair Pinto and Matti Shoshani on our social media accounts. And make sure to hit the subscribe again on this TV in Israel YouTube channel so you never miss another Boots on the Ground report. Now let me tell you that terrorists didn't just murder families on October 7th. They targeted Israel's most vital farms. They wanted to starve Israel into submission. Yossi's farm was gutted. His crops rotted. Across Israel, farming equipment was destroyed and workers fled the front lines. That's exactly what the enemy wanted. Israel cannot secure itself if it cannot feed itself. But Yossi, he refused to give them that victory. So many Israelis saw their farms devastated. Yossi decided that his would bloom again. But he needed help. So thanks to Leket Israel, he and farmers like him have received help from tens of thousands of Leket Israel volunteers and emergency funding. Leket Israel feeds over 400,000 Israelis in need every single week. And they do it in partnership with Israel's farmers. But these farmers now need your support. So help Leket Israel rebuild Israel's farms. Visit rebuildisraelsfarms.org right now. Again, that's rebuildisraelsfarms.org right now. Make a donation, support Israel, and help Leket Israel feed this nation. Because what I like to see is that the enemy is trying to destroy what we grow, and we double down and invest in the future. Because we know that we're here because of God and not because of ourselves. While Iranian missiles were launched towards the American bases in the Gulf, air defensive systems in Kuwait and Jordan went into action, and airports across the region shifted into emergency mode. At the same time, in southern Iran and around Tehran itself, explosions were heard again after another night in which the American military struck targets inside the Islamic Republic. And this is the question now. Was last night another round of pressure on the way to a deal, or only the warm-up for a much bigger front? Because behind the fire, behind the threats, and behind the videos of Tomahawk missiles, there is a double battle that is taking place here. One battle is in the skies, one battle is at sea, and another battle is around the bases in the Gulf. And then you have another battle that is inside the negotiations rooms between Washington, Tehran, Qatar, Pakistan, and the Gulf states. The American strikes overnight were not aimed at just one target, because according to the American statements, military surveillance and other communication systems, including air defensive sites, radars, command, and also units connected to the drone operations, were struck. That target list tells the whole story. Not only to hurt Iran, but also to punish, but to build it, disconnect it, and reduce its ability to threaten the American forces and the commercial ships in the Strait of Hormuz. This wave lasted several hours. Explosions were reported in Tehran, in Bandar Abbas, in Sirik, Mina, and Asiliyuach, and also around the islands and the areas close to the Persian Gulf. Some of the Iranian reports contradicted each other. In one place, they spoke about a hit on a petrochemical facility in the south, in the Pars gas field, and then tried to downplay it or deny it. And in another place, reports spoke about naval exchanges of fire near the Strait of Hormuz, while the Americans denied that their warships had been attacked. But what is clear is this: the United States did not operate only from the air. It combined air power, naval power, marines, and precision munitions. The most visible symbol of the night was the warship USS Michael Murphy, which launched Tomahawk cruise missiles towards targets in Iran. Trump spoke about 49 Tomahawk missiles. alongside the activity of fighter jets in Iranian skies. In other words, this was not a diplomatic message with smoke and with an end. This was a full military message. Iran responded quickly. The Revolutionary Guards announced attacks against the American targets in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. They claimed that 2 waves of strikes hit 18 central targets in the Ali El Salam and Ahmed Ali Jabir bases in Kuwait and at the Sheikh Issa Air Base in Bahrain. Later, they also announced the launch of 12 ballistic missiles towards the El Azraq Air Base in Jordan, a base that is also used by American forces, including a command and control center. On the ground, the picture was more complicated. Kuwait temporarily closed its airspace and delivered flights and diverted them. In Jordan, there were reports of missiles that were intercepted after being launched from Iran towards the El Azraq area. In Bahrain, sirens were heard, and the Iranians claimed that they attacked the headquarters of the American 5th Fleet. The Americans, on the other hand, are presenting this very differently. Yes, there was an Iranian attack, yes, there was an escalation, but there is no confirmation of the dramatic hits that Tehran is telling the world.
I'm curious, yeah.
And this is where the Strait of Hormuz enters the picture. This small place between Iran and Oman has once again become a most sensitive point in the global economy. Iran announced that the Strait of Hormuz is closed until further notice. The Iranian statement said that anyone requesting permission to pass will have to wait for further instructions from the Iranian authority that's managing the Gulf and the waterways. In simple words, Tehran is trying to tell the world that it is the one that's handing out the licenses for the region's most important energy artery. The United States immediately rejected that. U.S. Central Command claimed that commercial ships continue to enter and exit the strait. That's exactly the war of narrative. Iran wants to create the impression that the world depends on its approval. Washington wants to show that the naval blockade, the maritime security, and the strikes on the Iranian radars are returning freedom of navigation to American hands. Trump himself revealed an important detail. Over the past month, according to him, the American military secretly secured the passage of more than 200 commercial ships and more than 100 million barrels of oil through the Strait of Hormuz. This is a dramatic detail because it explains why this campaign is not only about nuclear weapons or missiles, it is also about fuel, oil prices, maritime insurance, stock markets, and the pockets of the American citizens, and the gas stations. When gas prices rise in the United States, this is no longer just a security crisis in the Gulf. It becomes a political crisis back at home. And that's why Trump is trying to do 2 things at the same time. Show strength against Iran, but also show that he's not losing control over the global markets. The price of the naval campaign is already being felt. 3 Indian sailors were killed in an American strike against the oil tanker MT Stebello, which was sailing under the flag of Palau. According to the Americans, the tanker tried to carry oil from Iran in violation of the blockade and repeatedly refused to follow the instructions of the American forces. An American aircraft fired a precision munition at the engine room. India summoned the American representative for a clarification meeting and delivered a sharp protest. And this is not a side event. Only days earlier, another tanker, the Malvex, was also struck and also had 24 Indian crew members on board, and they were rescued safely by Oman. In other words, the American blockade on Iran is no longer staying on maps and on the briefing rooms. It's hitting ships, it is involving countries that are friendly to the United States, and it could open new friction with players who do not want to be part of this war. And if you want to understand the Middle East in real time, without slogans and without a smoke screen, this is the moment to join us. Like this video, tell us in the comments where you're watching from. Follow Boots on the Ground so you can get the picture from the field, from the Israeli angle, before the headlines around the world even manage to sell it. And while the sea is boiling, emergency is not dead either. On the contrary, diplomatic sources claim that the talk between the United States and Iran are still continuing, because according to those sources, the sides are still exchanging messages about an initial memorandum of understanding, despite the exchange of fire. But here lies the great irony. While Tomahawk missiles are being launched from the sea, and while the Iranian missiles are being fired towards the American bases, the mediators are still talking about money, frozen assets, and a temporary agreement. One of the central issues is the release of the frozen Iranian funds. Iran is demanding between $6 and $12 billion. Washington is prepared for a gradual release of humanitarian needs, but opposes transferring the money directly into the hands of the regime. For Tehran, this is breathing room, not necessarily a comprehensive settlement, not necessarily an end to the nuclear story, but economic room to maneuver after months of war, blockade, and internal pressure. And that's exactly the problem from Israel's point of view. In Jerusalem, they look at the possible agreement and ask, is this really a solution, or just another 60 days in which Iran buys time? If it rebuilds its capabilities and it keeps the nuclear project alive, is this victory? Because in Israel's defense establishment, the assessment is that Iran does not truly intend to give up the nuclear program. It's not only a military project, it's also a national symbol, a survival tool for the regime, and the center of gravity for the entire Iranian strategy. That's why here in Israel, there is a double alert level. On the one hand, the assessment is that Iran will try not to fire directly at Israel in response to the American strikes, in order not to give Jerusalem immediate justification to strike again inside Iran. On the other hand, the IDF is preparing for the possibility that this assessment could break. And at the moment, there is no change in the home front command instructions. But the alert level is real. We must remember earlier this week, after the IDF strike in the Dacha neighborhood in Beirut, Iran launched missiles towards Israel. Later, the Israeli Air Force struck targets in western and central Iran, including a strike on the Karun petrochemical complex in the port city of Mashhad. Israel also struck air defensive systems. This was the first time since the ceasefire that Israel returned to striking targets like this in Iran. And in one of the latest Iranian barrages, there was a hit in the area of Ramat David Air Base, an incident that the IDF described as not significant, with no casualties and no substantial damage. But the Israeli message is clear. If Iran pulls Israel back into the circle of fire, Israel will not remain only in defense. And Defense Minister Israel Katz said that the campaign against Iran is far from over. And that if Iran attacks Israel, it will observe a severe blow, because according to the assessments, the IDF is already treating Iran once again as the main arena. Lebanon remains important. Hezbollah continues to take hits, but the center of gravity is returning to Tehran, Hormuz, Bandar Abbas, the radars, and the missiles arrays. Hezbollah also enters the picture. Reports from Lebanon describe the organization that has been deeply worn down, a command structure that has been hit, veteran fighters that were killed, and infrastructure destroyed in precise strikes. There are reports of miners being recruited into the organization's ranks in an attempt to fill the gaps after heavy losses. If this is true, it is an indication of deep pain inside Iran's most important arm on Israel's northern border. But here too, the story does not remain only military. Turkey is raising its tone against Israel and trying to gain status in the Arab world, while Iran is weakened and isolated. Erdogan speaks about Israel as a regional danger. Trump, for his part, is calming the situation and says that there will be no confrontation between Israel and Turkey as long as he is president. Behind the scenes, this is part of the same picture. Every regional power is trying to use the war to improve its position. On the international stage, the pressure on Iran does not come only from missiles. The International Atomic Energy Agency approved a resolution requiring Iran to report its stockpile of enriched uranium and allow inspectors to verify it. The resolution passed with a majority of 21 countries in favor, 3 against, and 10 abstentions. Russia, China, and Nigeria opposed it. And at the same time, 22 countries called on Iran to stop assassination attempts and malicious activities on their own territory. In other words, even when the world feels woe, it is not ignoring the Iranian behavior beyond the borders of the Middle East. Now everything is converging around the next night. Trump has already threatened that if there is no deal, he will strike again. The United States Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said that the strikes, if needed, will be clear and powerful. In the American administration, they're speaking about military pressure, whose goal is not to open a full war, but to force better terms at the negotiating table. In the Pentagon, they call it coercive diplomacy. In the Middle East, we call it something simpler, speaking to Iran in a language that it actually understands, but without losing control of the fire. So the question is whether a fire like this can really be managed with precision, because every missile that leaves Iran towards an American base, every interception over Jordan or Kuwait, every hit on a ship in the Gulf of Oman, and every Iranian statement about closing Hormuz can push the region one more step forward. Not necessarily into a full war tomorrow morning, but into a situation where every side feels that it must respond, not just so it does not look weak. And that's the real danger of the next night. Not only another strike, not only another threat, but the accumulation of mistakes, pride, economic pressure, and military forces that are standing too close to one another. The Middle East is entering hours in which every small decision can become a major event. Will the next night bring an agreement under fire, or the beginning of a broader round that everyone is preparing for? So keep spreading the truth, follow us, and most importantly, do not forget to click on the subscribe button so that you stay tuned to the truth in real time and never miss another update of Boots on the Ground. Keep looking for us, Mati Shoshani, Yair Pinto, TVN Israel on our social media accounts. And the best thing that you can do is pray. Let's pray for the U.S. personnel that are involved in strikes or are under fire from the Iranian attack. Let's pray for the people of Iran. Let's pray for the people of Lebanon. Let's pray for the people of Israel. Remember, all these headlines, all these news, may sound very big and far away, but for us here, it's our daily lives. Every house in Israel has a bomb shelter. This storage room that I'm recording and filming this report for you is a bomb shelter. When the missiles fly, our team at TVN Israel come here to this room to take shelter. And this is not special because every apartment in Israel has one bedroom that is a bomb shelter. In my house, it's my youngest room. He's 3 years old and he's been sleeping in the bomb shelter since this war began for 3 years straight. So know that this war affects real people, real lives. But we know that God cares about the individual as much as He cares about the nation. So let's pray. Let's ask Him to help us. Let's ask Him for wisdom. Let's ask Him for peace. Let's pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TVN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TVN Israel here in Jerusalem. TVN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TVN Israel today online at tvn.org/Israel. Thank you.
Pretty much cut out alcohol, but I worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and had a head cold, and it just made me feel like shit, and I just was like, I need a drink. And I went and bought a bottle of rum last night, drank the whole bottle. Well, I can give you the best piece of advice I can give you when you get done is hang that shit up. Yeah. I ain't no wrong with drinking. You don't do whatever you want. But if it starts affecting how you take a woman, that's, there's kind of a problem. I mean, nothing gets out, so you can't have your drink, but you gotta do it responsibly. I ain't knocking you for it. Hell, I ain't even mad at you.
We know life gets busy, but your career goals are still within reach. At WGU, you can earn an accredited degree in nursing or healthcare with courses that fit around your schedule. Learn more at wgu.edu.
mean, your 60-second tan that gives you a natural looking color. It's Jergens natural glow.
In the dark, in the cold, in the heat. Holidays, weekends, 24/7. Through Maine's strongest storms, we're always out there. Finding solutions, keeping the grid stable. We don't generate the power, but we do everything it takes to safely deliver it to you. This work takes training, so we teach the next generation. Reliability's improved, and we're working to keep that momentum going. We're here for Maine, because we're Mainers too.
One team, one home, Telemundo. Do you feel that? That's the sound of a country turning up the volume. Because this isn't just a moment, this is our moment. Our shot to show the world what home soil really means. We are louder, we are faster, we are ready. Let's go USA. It's our time.
Let's go get this head home. That's the piece of advice I can give you in this line of work is that you get bought in for some shit, it's so true. I promise you, if you done something wrong and I was out here and you lied to me.
Another chapter in the push to not allow transgender athletes to play in the sport that aligns with their gender identity.
When I saw this person leave their table and leave the materials unattended, I was very concerned, and so I took pictures and photos.
I don't know. What did stop you? I mean.
And videos just to make sure like I'm seeing what I'm seeing.
A judge in Portland ruling that the group Protect Girls Sports in Maine did not follow the law in collecting signatures. This comes after a 2-day hearing last month where both sides of this issue presented cases to the Secretary of State's office. The office then invalidated the citizens' initiative because it did not meet the required number of valid signatures.
The challengers only challenge 4 major aspects of my decision.
Those 4 aspects, whether or not out-of-state circulators consented to Maine law, whether notaries public had a conflict of interest, if they were also collecting signatures, another issue impacting how signature pages were marked up, and an issue regarding the Maine Constitution.
The referendum will not move forward unless the challengers appeal to the Maine Supreme Judicial Court, which they are entitled to do.
The group Protect Girls Sports tells me in an email that it will continue to push to get this citizens initiative on the ballot in November and plans to appeal this decision to the Maine Supreme Court. In Westbrook, I'm Jackie Mundry for Commitment 2026.
So I said, I found out what from my car. Went in the truck and then this dude over here showed the film, so I moved into this side of my car and back to the I know I did. Someone just pushing in the people, I'm assuming. Well, I mean, you know, you got Mark Carr stopping the Mark Carr.
Just had a big day. I know you'll never be satisfied, but that's okay. That doesn't bother me at all. We just made a great settlement of the war, Iran, and we're going to be subject to finalization of documents. We should get done.
He's not really confused. You know, his whole timeline from yesterday to today. So he was drinking liquor because he was going to kick it and think a shot because a few drinks and he's blacked out. Then I said, well, how much are you going to drink today? And he said, oh, I just kind of took all that I had left yesterday. So he drove to the office to kind of meet with Kelton. And then ended up not meeting with anybody. He just got in the car and he home and combat shirt. His AirPods and his cruise license. Yeah. Found the knife on in my car. Come on, bro. All right. Stand right there. Just face your car. All right. You got the keep out? Yeah, you got that little thumbs up on it.
Those eggs, that's about it. Yep.
Deerfield Federal Credit Union was born and raised here in Maine. And like Mainers, we're built on grit and a lot of gumption. We know your name, we know your story, because real community starts by knowing one another. Visit us today and experience the Deerfield different.
Residential homes, engaging experiences within the community, a supportive work environment. At Northeast Residential Services, we serve and support individuals with disabilities and intellectual needs across central and southern Maine.
We serve adults with developmental disabilities, people in the shared living option, which is pairing people with families who are looking to take someone in to support someone with a developmental disability. We serve people who are in need, and that's our primary goal.
I want all our homes to be like any homes that any of us would live in, because I believe that all clients that we support deserve the very best homes. I also provide them with one-on-one support, as well as the staff that come in to help them. They can go anywhere they want.
And a work environment that supports you while you're supporting the community. Online at
On September 1st, 2023, around 3 a.m., Atlanta police responded to an auto accident. Witnesses and the victim reported that a GMC Yukon had attempted to flee the scene, but didn't make it far. Seriously damaged.
She can't leave. Why should I work? I was coming. I seen her smashing the head already. Back off. She can't drop away. She don't. Die.
As the officer drove down the street, a female driver stated that the other vehicle had struck them. The officer then noticed a man in the passenger seat, handcuffed behind his back, and both individuals had a strong odor of alcohol.
What's going on, man? Somebody just hit us in the whip. Sir? Yeah, handcuffs. Why is he handcuffed? Hold on one second. Leave that. Bring him down. Put him on the cleaner. Black man, electric, his face. From this 41. Sir. Hey. Hey, sir. Come on, wait. Take the handcuffs off. What happened? Why is he handcuffed? Take the handcuffs off. Where did you find him at? My boyfriend. You're not answering? I just got him on the strip club. I was riding. This is wrong. And he was driving the car or you were driving the car? He was driving. You gotta go around that way. Go that way. Bro, go that way. Bro. Take the handcuffs off, bro. Hold on. Where did you get him from saying to be handcuffed? Strip club. And they had him in handcuffs? The strip club. You're a strip club. And they had him in handcuffs? Yes, I had him in handcuffs. Why were you in handcuffs? Bro, take the handcuffs off. Hold on. Why were you? What's his name? Where's that? You got ID, sir?
As the officer called for backup and medics, his wife attempted to walk away from the scene.
Wow, can I get rid of this thing?